Hi everyone, my name is Sam Dinsdale. Sorry for not using the webcam. I just recently had surgery, and if I had a moment where I winced in pain, I just really didn't want the entire class to see it. So my apologies. But I'm a recent graduate, and I studied medical biology and Latin American studies. And I really became interested in public health like about a year or so ago, and it was really solidified when I came back from a mission trip from Ecuador this past May. The trip that I went on was through a club at my university where we talked about global health issues and public health here also. And we volunteered at a local public health organization that I'm really excited to share with everyone today. It's called Partners for World Health, and it's located in Portland, Maine. So to provide like a little bit of brief background on how this organization came to be, back in 2007, the now owner and runner of the Partners for World Health, her name is Elizabeth McLean, and she began collecting unused medical supplies when she was a nurse at Maine Medical Center, one of the huge hospitals in Maine. And she was collecting all these supplies as she noticed patients in like a trauma room in the ER. If the supplies weren't used, they were just being thrown away. And instead of throwing them away, she began to collect them and see if could repurpose them somehow or prevent them from being thrown into a landfill. And she eventually reached a point where there were so many supplies in her house, she had to rent out a warehouse. And in 2009, this is where the organization came to be. Partners for World Health was created. It is now a nonprofit organization that is really focused on providing medical supplies and healthcare to developing countries. And they're able to do this through the donations they receive from healthcare facilities, manufacturers, and other donation organizations and individuals. And then they have volunteers come in from across the state that come and help them package, sort, label, and prepare all of these boxes for shipment to be shipped all across the world. They have a lot of lasting connections and relationships with different communities, especially in Southeast Asia and Africa, where they do a lot of their medical mission trips and such. But usually, after they send a shipment out, they like to follow it up with some medical personnel to check in to see is it everything that they could have used? Are there certain medical supplies they would prefer, like GI tract supplies or stuff for gynecology or like breast cancer exams, different things like that. So they're really interested in trying to provide healthcare and promote that to developing nations, which is really showing some of the essential public health services that they're providing, linking people to the need of personal health services and the provision of healthcare, which is quite obvious what this organization is aimed to do. And they're also educating people about it. They're having volunteers come in from all over Maine as they have chapters and established at different colleges and internship opportunities. They're educating the youth in surrounding communities about how important these global health issues are and how we can play a part and really try to help out more. So overall, their mission I kind of broke down into three separate pieces. The first one I've talked about a lot, the improvement of quality of healthcare in developing countries. And again, they're doing this by shipping out unused, old, or expired medical supplies to these developing nations that need it the most. They try to gear the shipments that they send out to the communities based on what they're requesting, what they really, really need, to make sure these countries are getting the best that we can provide to them to further help and provide healthcare and healthcare prevention. They're also reducing medical waste. They're really trying to help the environmental health by reducing the amount of medical supplies that are in these landfills. And it's absolutely amazing how they're able to do this just by simply accepting all these donations and, repurposing the medical supplies for other nations that need it more than we do. And the last thing that they're doing is educating the local community about global health issues. Something I just mentioned, they're doing a really good job of drawing in college students and even like there's elderly volunteers. It's amazing what they're actually doing, and it's just a really cool organization. I've volunteered there. A bunch of my classmates have. We really enjoyed this organization. And it's quite apparent the levels of prevention that they're assisting in. Secondary and tertiary are what I believe they are helping the most in. Secondary being that they're trying to minimize the amount of like illness that's being spread by trying to send medical personnel as soon as possible and all these medical supplies. And again, tertiary by directly applying medical care. So if you guys are interested, here's the website, the link for Partners for World Health. They're really cool, and thank you all for listening. I hope it was an interesting organization for everyone.